Let's read on. Now, Jamie, you've done a spot of writing in your time, haven't you? Now, where do you like to write?
At my desk.
Have you got a little writing nook?
Sometimes when I'm doing handwritten stuff, I'll sit on my little chair in my office, yeah.
Yeah, I've got lots of places I like not to write, like, in the garden, down by the river, where I should be doing some writing. But anyway, now lots of famous writers have been notorious for their strange writing habits. Sometimes necessity determines the method. For example, back in the late 70s, when Gerry was having a tough time in his career, while writing a documentary on the history of telecommunications for the company Ericsson, he was forced to turn down the thermostat in order to save a few pounds on heating. I think we've all been there. Thus, the project was written huddled over a typewriter in his overcoat. Another classic example is writer Donald Robertson. Now, Donald Robertson might not be a name you know, as he didn't collaborate as long with Gerry as some others like Tony Barwick, but he made major contributions to an obscure show called Thunderbirds.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, hardly anyone remembers it. And we never talk about it here on the Gerry Anderson podcast. Now, Donald was an engineer by trade and transitioned into script writing by working on industrial films. While keeping that as his day job, he tried to transition into television writing by knocking on doors and sending out submissions to various producers. When watching Fireball XL5 with his kids, he got the idea to write a draft script on spec for AP Films. 6 months later, would you believe, he was called up and asked to join a story conference. Now, having 3 small children at home, Donald was forced to seek peace and quiet outside of the house. And somewhat unusually, he chose to put his office in a caravan at the end of the garden, which sounds idyllic, doesn't it? It sounds lovely.
Sort of.
So, that's right. Some of the fan favourite episodes of Thunderbirds, including Edge of Impact, Desperate Intruder, Danger at Ocean Deep and Path of Destruction, were written in a caravan late in the evening by the light of a paraffin lamp.
Oh, do you think the fumes inspired him?
Yeah, well, I think they might certainly have done something to him. There are, of course, many legends about the writing of various scripts for Gerry Anderson shows, many including the entirety of Dick Spanner and quite a few of the works of Dennis Spooner, allegedly germinated after a few pints down at the local pub. Tony Barwick and Shane Rimmer brainstormed stories together out on the golf course. Well, do you know any more tales of Anderson's screenwriters? How did you go about getting some writing done? Send us an email, let us know, podcast@gerryanderson.com, and we'll read some out next time. Now, we know that there are lots of very creative podstrons out there, and we know that they like a bit of fan fiction and putting pen to paper, so let us know. Where do you like to write? Have you got your own little writing nook? Have you got a favourite armchair or a window to gaze out of? Let us know.
Yeah, some people go to the local coffee shop or to a library or something, don't they?
Yeah.
You go to the local coffee shop, don't you?
Yes, sometimes it's just a change of surroundings.
Yeah.
You know, I could quite easily write at home, but there are firstly so many distractions, but also just a change of surroundings. The other day I went into London and sat down outside the BFI, which is a place we know well on the South Bank, and spent a couple of hours writing and just watching the world go by. It's just that, change of atmosphere that sometimes helps to get the juices flowing.
It does indeed. You're right. It's sometimes just going out for a walk or whatever. Sometimes you try and force an idea to come and it just won't.
No.
And you walk away from it and then things start to flow. Yeah. It's a very strange process, creating anything.
It is a strange process, yes,
Much
exactly.
like creating a podcast.
Indeed so.
How do we try the words again? Sorry. Yes.
I think that brings us to the end of this week's
Writing Fact!